Keith Fraser for Seconds Out. I'm here with George Groves trainer Shane McGuigan. Shane, nice to see you.
How you doing?
Big fight on Saturday night, and a little bit of a difficult one to call in a way. Of course, George Groves, your man, is the favourite, but Jamie Cox, he's no slouch. He's well recognised in the business as being a good quality fighter. You're not underestimating him anyway, I'm sure. What do you see as the potential trip-ups in this fight?
I'm not going to talk about the trip-ups. You know, George has worked so hard to get to this position. He's had three failed attempts at a world title. He's won his world title on the fourth attempt. He spent his whole life since he was 9 years old getting himself into this position. We're not going to make any slip-ups. Jamie Cox is a good fighter. He's known in the trade. He's, as you would call him, a trade fighter. Lots of gym stories. He hasn't looked that good on the night. He's always lowered himself down to other people's levels, so it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches Saturday night. This is the first time he's been on the top table, being asked questions, headlining a show. George has done it many times. He's done it on the biggest scale possible in Wembley Arena. So, you know, in retrospect, George is a seasoned campaigner. And you know, he's been here, done it, got the t-shirt. He's now got the world title. So, looking forward to Saturday night. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. We got to keep nice and quick, nice and sharp. I think his ability will do the job.
And the fact that George is a seasoned campaigner at super middle, and of course Jamie Cox started his career at light middle, do you see that as a potential situation arising in the fight?
No, I mean, I don't want them to have any excuses after the fight to say that, you know, he's going to go back down to middleweight. You know, it was a bit like the Martin Murray fight. Martin Murray was super middleweight. All of a sudden, George battered him, and it's like, I'm going back down to middleweight now. So, I think George is a huge, hard-punching super middleweight, and if there is any size disadvantage, I think you might see it on the night.
Now, I know the old adage is to not look further than your next fight, but of course this is a series, and of course everyone's got one eye on the semi and another eye on the final. Yeah. Did you see the Chris Eubank fight the other night?
I didn't see it live. I've seen it since then. I've watched it.
What did you think?
I mean, I think he looked very impressive. Chris Eubank Jr. is a very good fighter. Huge respect to him. Yeah, he is an improved fighter, and I think, you know, we're not going to look past Saturday night. You know, George has had been known to do that in the past. Look past people, and I think, you know, from my job is just to keep him nice and focused, make sure it's just another fight, and we have to just keep focused on the opponent I had. In terms of Eubank, I think, yeah, he did a very good job. I've seen that Yildirim out sparring in Miami. I watched him spar Kurt Stevens on 2 occasions, and both of the occasions Kurt Stevens got the better of him, hurt him and wobbled him as well. Albeit he did land a couple. He did a good last round against Stevens and sort of got the better of him. But with that style, you just think without the head guard on, without the big gloves on, he's going to get hit far too clean. And Eubank did the job.
So obviously we all think that your man is going to do the business, and then we've got potentially explosive fight with Eubank Jr. Do you like this kind of series, or do you prefer the traditional fighting for a belt? I personally like this idea because it means that everyone's in the mix. There's a lot of world title belts out there. What do you see it as potentially the future of boxing?
They've had it before, and it didn't do well. I think the good thing about the World Super Series and the Muhammad Ali Trophy is that they make sure that, you know, there is a time frame and there's a time limit on it, and one person can't say, "Oh, I'm injured. I'm going to be taking half a year out." Yeah, this is a tournament that if you're injured, you're getting kicked out. So, yeah, there's a definite start date and there's a definite finish date, and from a fan's perspective, it's great. But, you know, we, you know, it does add pressure, because a lot of time boxers' bodies need a little bit of time to rest. But you know, from my perspective, I'm the trainer. I've got to make sure he's, you know, he peaks, he comes down, he has a little bit of a rest, and when we peak again, and we don't go straight into another camp, overcook it, and burn out. So it's a little bit more challenging from a trainer's perspective. But it's interesting. You know, you sometimes just got to adapt, and it's good. There's good money in it, good profile and stuff like that. So the production looks incredible, and I think it's good for boxing.
Well, I'm excited to see it. One other thing, last week we had the press conference with David Haye and Tony Bellew too. Obviously, you used to train David Haye. Didn't go quite the way you wanted in the first fight. Can I ask you how you see the second fight possibly turning out?
I think David's going to win. If you look at the first fight, yeah, he was wild, he was ragged. Didn't spar very much for that fight. It was pretty obvious. Trying to get his time in during the fight. He wasn't battle ready for that first fight. He was fit, but he wasn't battle ready. I think if he can get battle ready in the training camp, then he should do a number on Tony Bellew. He's a much better fighter than him. It's just whether he can do that. But I've got full faith in him. Still very friendly with David, and I think he's still got a lot to offer at the world stage as well. Not just I know Tony Bellew was a world cruiserweight champion. I think the world stage at world heavyweight champion. Yeah. So.
Well, listen, it's been good to speak to you. I wish you the best of luck. I wish your man the best of luck for Saturday night.